Let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you made a decision that was actually yours? Not your parents, not what society told you should do, not what made sense on paper, yours. Because most people, and I mean most people, wake up one day and realize they're living somebody else's life, somebody else's dreams. And the scariest part, they can't even tell when it happened. Today we're getting into that. We're talking about the norm, what it is, why we follow it, and why it costs us more than we think. This is episode 1. Let's get into it. Here's something most people don't think about. The norm isn't neutral. It wasn't handed down by the universe. It was built by systems, by institutions, by people with their own agenda. And somewhere along the way, we inherited that. Get good grades, don't rock the boat, get a stable job, retire. That's the script. The problem is, nobody ever asked you if you wanted that role. I was that guy. Top of my class, I checked every box, I excelled at any corporate job I was at, not because I wanted to, but because that's what you were supposed to do. I didn't choose it, I inherited it. And all of the other roles, all the other possibilities were deemed dangerous and risky by everyone around me because they inherited the same path. So why do people stay in it? I think there's a few reasons. First, belonging. There is a real human interest in being part of the group, and stepping outside that group feels like exile. Like you're cutting yourself off from the rest of the group, and our brains are wired to prevent that. Second, we confuse stability with safety. Unfortunately, those are not the same thing. They're not mutually exclusive. A job can be super stable, but still slowly drain the life force out of you because it's not exactly what you or your soul wants to do. That's not safety, that's just familiar. And third, sometimes the people closest to you are the loudest voices trying to prevent you from deviating from that path, from being normal. They're not bad people, but you changing actually disrupts their comfort. Your growth holds up a mirror to them and says, hey, why aren't you doing the things that I'm doing? And that rocks the boat, and people don't like that. And lastly, there's something called survivorship bias. We see people who broke the mold, who succeeded in their dreams, and we assume that there was a lot of risk involved, that it was extremely hard. But we don't see the people who took the leap and stumbled along the way, but still figured out how to achieve their goals. The risk isn't as always as big as it feels. Now, I don't hear anybody talking about this, so I'm gonna do it myself. Playing it safe has its own price tag. We just don't call it risk. Unfulfilled potential doesn't show up loudly and announce itself. It shows up as low-grade frustration, restlessness, that nagging feeling that you're meant for something greater, but you can't really name it or put words to it. You can be financially stable and spiritually broke at the same time. And that is one of the loneliest places to be because on the outside, everything seems fine. So I want you to flip the question. Instead of asking yourself, what happens if I fail? Ask yourself, what would I feel like when I'm at the age of 65 and I didn't attempt to go after my dreams? Which regret are you willing to live with? Which one's easier? The discomfort of growing is always better than the discomfort of standing still. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not telling you that you need to blow up your life and chase after your dreams with reckless abandonment. What I'm asking you is to get honest with yourself because you can't fix what you don't face. The norm will always be there waiting for you if you ever want to go back to it, but you only get one shot at the life that you actually want. In the next video, we're going to get into what it actually takes to start moving towards that goal. Not the hype of it all, but the real work. So make sure you subscribe and I'll see you there.